So ideation is the process of forming, designing new idea, and the use of tools to put this idea in action. So in this part, we will present you like different inspiring activities. So event, workshop, new initiative, networking, different activities from the two alliance, the case study as we've made until now, that help us to build the community for the SDGs in our campus. And at the end of this part, we will present you an opportunity to build the first step for your community or a proposition.
So the SDGs programming is heavily focused on advancing the 3 core pillars of the SDGA, and that includes student engagement, community training, and regional advocacy. And the pillars sort of help us guide through the process of ideation because they ensure that we're always working towards serving our community and our campus by engaging youth with the SDGs. So one of the events that we highlighted is the SDG Summit, which is the largest annual event that the SDGA holds. And it's basically a training conference for youth that want to become more involved in sustainability on campus or within their own communities. And it works towards building capacity for leadership and advocacy while engaging staff, students, and community partners in different workshops. The SDGA is currently working on a new program called SLIP, which stands for Student Leadership Innovation Program, and it allows students who are interested in developing their own ideas to work alongside mentors and implement their ideas for the SDGs on campus and in their communities. So what we saw during the last 3 years of holding our summit was that there was a lot of student engagement that led to many great discussions and unique ideas for student-led initiatives, which is how the SLIP program came to be. So this kind of shows how a lot of our ideas can come from or are rooted in things that are already in the works and have already been developed. Another event the SDGA has organized for the past 3 years is Storytelling the SDGs, which is hosted with Calgary International for International Development Week. And this event focuses on sharing stories and experiences of students, researchers, community members, and volunteers who have done work in international development. So throughout the year, we also try to hold focus groups, workshops, and networking events for our members or anyone interested in learning about the SDGs. And overall, collaboratively, all of these individual events work towards upholding our own pillars and effectively empower like new sustainability leaders. The SDGA also emphasizes the importance of working in collaboration with other student groups on campus and in the community to help engage more people with the SDGs and to spread awareness. Most of these groups have a good following of students who are interested in the SDGs. So we're also able to get more outreach while also connecting like-minded students and community organizations to each other. We have an SDGA forum on Facebook, which allows student groups to communicate with one another and learn more about different events, initiatives, or opportunities on campus or within their communities. In addition to collaborating with student groups on campus and supporting them with sustainable event planning, we also provide funding for events, like we've mentioned before, in order to support them with sustainable event planning and promote student projects and different initiatives related to the SDGs. And this kind of ensures that the SDG is also promoting other SDG-related opportunities and connecting students on a wider scale. And now with that, I will hand it over to Lebel to talk more a little about their process.
So hi everybody. Other than workshop, networking and event and roundtable, we're trying to be at all the events that take place on campus about sustainable development. For example, in September, we were part of the some of the activity organization pour la Semaine de l'Avenir. Other than that, we made a sustainability action plan with the ally, is the grad student association. They asked us to work on that with them. And we did this based on the SDGs. After that, the consulting for Laval University's plug dance counselor. The SPA is the employment service of Laval. And what we realized is that sustainable development, as you probably know, it's such a huge domain, and it's part of like every domain. And so whenever you want to find a job or find a internship, it's kind of difficult on the website of this job because there's no section for sustainable development. And it's the same thing when you want to have a consult to help you find a job, because you have to go for the department you're connected to. So it's whether it's law or administration or politics, but there's no counselor for sustainable development. So we want to work and giving a brief training in sustainable development. So each of the counselor is have the tools to help us find job and internship in sustainable development. And the same thing for the website. We want to create a section, a field that a student can check to like on a job on sustainable development on the same spot because it's difficult to find, it's difficult to look out for a job in sustainable development. There was a job fair in like every domain possible at Laval, but there was no sustainable job fair. So because I was looking out for a job or an internship in sustainable development, I decided to create one. If there's nothing on your campus, create it yourself. I think it went very well. We created this in a month and a half, and we got more than 20 companies that came. So it's kind of good. More than 200, 240, 50 students and teacher that came. We had very good discussion, and we want to make that again this year, and probably virtual sustainable fair jobs.
So yeah, as you see, we have a lot of ideation, and sometimes we don't have time to put everything in place. Like Elisabeth mentioned, we had the job fair, but the training with the guidance counselor is still in progress. We didn't have exactly the time to put it in action, but sometimes it's okay to just like think about a lot of ideas, and then when we have time, we'll do it. And but there are things that we did do, like a lot of trainings on sustainability. For example, last spring, we had a conference on sustainability in the 3% project. We had a guest speaker from the United Nations, Steve Lee, and it was super interesting. And a lot of people went out of this conference with a certification of SDG. So they knew a lot about they knew a bit more about the SDGs. So then when the Alliance was a bit more present on the campus, a lot of people had this kind of training before, so they kind of knew about us beforehand. And now we participate a lot in the little trainings when we can. So for example, we went in Montreal to try and create a more general hub. So not only with Laval University, but other universities in the province of Quebec. And we did a little bit of training on the SDGs for this area. And also, for example, in the last spring, we had the seed conference about SDGs. So every occasion that we have to talk about the SDGs in our presence, we just take it and go do a little conference. And even if it's just for half an hour, then at least we can reach out to more people. And then we can make contacts and network with people who are interested and share the same values as us for sustainability. And then the impact that all of this work had is our internal governance was impacted because we were spread out in a lot of different areas, and then we didn't really know how to manage all this because we're also a new alliance. So we were going with our ideas more project based. So each person in the alliance was kind of affected to a project in hand, and we were trying to go through these projects. But now we're kind of trying to structure a bit more our governance. But it's one at a time, one day at a time, and we're always trying to get more resources and get people working with us to help us in the governance also. We have other ideas that we will put in action later on. For example, audits for sustainable events. I know my colleagues at SDGA started this already, but we're trying to do the same here in Quebec, which is to see what events are taking place on our campus and make sure they are sustainable. And if they have things to improve, then we can help them out a little bit. So we're always trying to see what are the needs of people on our campus and how we can help a little more so that people can reach their sustainability goals.
Thank you so much for everyone who's just shared. There's so much incredible information going around, and I'm sure you have lots of great resources now and also lots of questions. So these are just some questions for you guys to think about moving forward. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? Like, how are you going to get to that goal that you want to reach? Where maybe is that with an alliance or an initiative growing in your institution? And how can we maintain momentum as a group here? So the next 2 slides are just going to be about next steps, and then we're going to be completely wrapping up.
We wanted maybe to bring already proposal for next steps for us to work together, so that we can work together faster. So this is not a proposal, this is just a concept that we wanted to co-create with all of you guys about like a way to have national collaboration. So okay, why do we do that? Because, you know, we already have all the people that are super driven, we have resources, we have expertise, and I think it's like just like the exact same point of this whole event we had today is to make these resources more accessible and to create a simple way to connect between ourselves, not to add like a burden or a task over one another. So 3 main category of like points of like, again, just like a concept of national collaboration that we're gonna invite you to collaborate later. So we wanted to have like an online community of practice. So, you know, this includes, I don't know, if like Laval want to get to know more how to pass the torch, well, Calgary did a super well-planned structure about that. So, okay, so we can have these on some kind of online platform. I really love Trello. Trello was an idea. Again, this is just a concept we can discuss together on how we're actually going to do it. And regarding like communication, so how do we reach out to one another? There's the Slack group, and if you're not in the Slack group yet, I really encourage you to go. There's no engagement. It's just for you. You can just like be in the chat and just look at stuff if you don't want to talk. But if you actually want to engage, feel free. Also, one aspect we consider for some kind of national collaboration would be event coordination. So many different groups have done similar things as like an SDG week. So that could be, you know, something we do on a national level with many different campuses and all together. And well, how do we ensure that we would be able to do that? Could be by like having monthly calls with reps from organization. Again, the goal is not to make it heavier on these organizations, on all of us. It's just simple communication, and it's not like mandatory or anything. And then we have also like advocacy. So, you know, having all of us in some kind of national network, it could be like straight with the SDSN or like just a platform, would create like a positive competition between our administrations. So if, I don't know, I know in Laval did some policies specifically because McGill did some policy before them. And these kind of like positive competition that we are asking our administration to do, they could be enhanced if we all work together and we're all in the network. We know what each other is doing and how we get to move faster. And that's also right for government, businesses, and other organizations on a national level. If we're together, we have a bigger voice. That's quite obvious, I guess.